Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of my Icenia campaign. I am Ben the Bold, you are you. Let's go get right down into it. Rome looks to be expanding nicely on the Italian peninsula, although I almost would have expected them by 475 to have expanded more and taken over most of the southern Italian peninsula too. I haven't paid too much attention to what Rome is doing, although I'm hoping that they will become nice and big and present a real challenge in the late game. Carthage is mostly consolidating its power on the North African coast, although you do see it kind of coming up into the Iberian Peninsula a little bit, excuse me. But the real story is over here in the Middle East. In Phrygia is starting to kind of crumble. It still holds on to most of its main power base, but at the extent of its power, it had taken all of this Pontus region and was looking pretty dominant. Although Phrygia does what Phrygia does, it does look like it is starting to fall apart, but the real puzzle that is just kind of crumbling is the Seleucid Empire. It seems to be being attacked on all sides. It seems to be falling apart from inside. It seems like it is having some real trouble. Meanwhile, Egypt and Kush seem to be still just duking it out. They have been fighting pretty constantly, or maybe it was off and on. I haven't really been paying that much attention, but pretty constantly. They have been back and forth fighting each other down in Eastern Africa. But we, at least for the time being, are mostly interested in the British Isles, and specifically the Icenian region. So we are still kind of just letting our manpower trickle up. I'm going to go ahead and press unpause, and right away I get a event, the Druidic conflict. Ooh, ours is a nation that sticks together. Icenia, we gave them 5 stability, and the Cornovia, which I believe are these people, yes, they're going to lose 40 opinion of us. I'm okay with that because I'm planning on going to war with them relatively soon anyway. Yeah, I don't want local unrest, so I'm going to go ahead and say that that is fine. Our stability increases, that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. We are slowly progressing tech-wise. We now are making 3.3 tech points, research points per month. That is not great, but I'm going to say that it's pretty good for a tribe where we are in the game. We are going to continue to get more and more citizens. We will push that tech rate up a little bit. So as far as my next, hopeful conquests, I think that I'm going to declare war on the Carvetii. Declaring war on the Carvetii would probably bring in the Brigantian and the Cornovian nations as well. This would once again put me and my 3 allies against this kind of block of northern nations. I think I can probably handle that even with poor manpower. I will probably let my manpower just continue to tick up just a little bit before actually declaring war, but I do feel like I'm in a pretty good spot, especially since my allies should join in. Let's go ahead and see. If I were to attack today, yes, all of my allies would join in, their 2 allies would join in. I think that's a war we can take, but I am just going to hold off just a little bit. As far as our population goes, to population map mode. Venta is, at this point, is it the largest city in Britain? It has 17, yeah, so I do believe that it has, yes, Venta is the most populated city in all of the British Isles at the moment. It will hopefully just become bigger and bigger. I would love to eventually one day push it into the metropolis range. I am making some money, about 1.6 ducats per month. My army maintenance is on low. If I were to go to default, I would make about 0.8 ducats a month. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and think about getting another building. What am I thinking? A library would be good to increase the number of citizens. But research points and additional pop promotion speed would also be very beneficial. Or I do want to increase my migration attraction. Now, migration attraction can be pushed up by this at the bottom, that available population capacity. So I could think about building an aqueduct, and maybe more pops, both from my nations as well as other nations, would move into Venta, which is what I want. Also, that would make the pop migration speed a little faster. I might consider that. I think that would be the main reason. I mean, obviously, to increase population capacity is a good reason to build an aqueduct, but I think in this case, my main reason to build an aqueduct would be to increase migration attraction. I do know that I'm going to just go ahead and click this button to develop my city a little bit more. I'm trying to push that closer to the 50 range, because as soon as my centralization is 50 and my centralization is 80 and my civilization is 50, I will be able to enact this decision, which is going to change me into a civilizing tribe, or really it's going to turn me into a monarchy. I'm going to get the national spirit civilizing tribe, which is going to give me some culture happiness, some civilization change, and of course that pop promotion speed. Plus I'm going to get 2 free province investments. Civilization's going to increase. I'm going to get another national idea as well. All of that sounds great to me. I'm going to continue on with the manpower recovery speed. I am considering building a navy. I don't love having these pirates around. I don't think there's anything I'm going to be able to do to challenge them for a little while, but I would consider building a navy because soon I want to start thinking about getting involved on the mainland, especially if I can consolidate more power here in the south. Let's see, we have about 5,000 manpower. Our manpower really is ticking up pretty quickly. I don't think it'll be much longer before I am ready to lead the charge in another war. Let me go ahead and get another academy here, just to make my citizens a little bit more effective. Can I get any trade? No, not yet at least. I like the governor policy that I have chosen, except for this one. I might think about changing this. What is... So I get some increased happiness, but I'm not really worried about the happiness at the current moment. My population output is reduced with this governor policy, though. I'm going to go ahead and change that. What would I want to do? Maybe local manpower increased, or acquisition of wealth? It would also increase my governor wage, which my governor for my home region is my tribal chief, so that's a plus. Uh-oh, scandal. Oh, this is my rival, or he was my rival. Maybe an episode or two ago, I removed him as a rival. I gave him a job in government. He didn't love it. He was my rival, but I still gave him a job in government because he demanded it. He ended up giving me some money for it. And now he is caught in the middle of a scandal, and, well, he's the war chief and a friend of the clan chief. Yeah, no, I never wanted him in my government anyway. Get him out of here. Gonna have to appoint a new war chief. This is the guy I fired. It hurt his loyalty when I fired him. His loyalty is not going up or down. I'm going to go ahead and hire him back. Oops. Clicked his portrait. I'm going to go ahead and hire him back. That increases his loyalty again. Now he's even... he's probably going to be... his loyalty's still staying the same, but at 80, he's still giving me a moderate increase in my political influence. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Speaking of political influence, I am trying to decide what I want to spend it on next. Maybe another claim. For instance, maybe a claim on the Cornovians, although I think I'm just going to take their land. It means a little bit less aggressive expansion if I'll get the claim first. But then I'm also using some of the political influence that otherwise I could use towards province investments. I still only have 2 allies. I think it's almost time to go to war. Let's start moving our men in position. They only have 6 cohorts, correct? Yes. So my plan for this war is to start out by Do they have any forts? They don't, because I completely destroyed their... I guess it was their capital, it was their one and only fort, and I completely destroyed it. Who's just sitting here? Cool, they can sit there, that's fine. So I am, in my plan for the next war, I'll go ahead and start moving some armies into position. I don't plan on fighting any major battles with my my tribal leaders, my personal armies. Basically, the cohorts that are in red. I want to do all of my fighting with the cohorts that are in blue because these do not pull from my manpower. I do think it's because I was kind of looking at what chariots can do in the last episode. I'm going to go ahead and spend 1,000 manpower to add a chariot to this army. I'm not going to make the mistake of declaring war before increasing army maintenance. I'm still making over $1 per month or a ducat per month with full army maintenance. I still don't see a point in going for either one of those, any of these inventions, so I'm just going to hold off, save my cash. I'm about to go to war, so I want to save my cash anyway, although I could get another building. Well, actually I'm not quite there yet. I'll hold off on buying anything just for the moment, since I am planning on declaring war relatively soon. I'm going to switch these two armies. I'm going to detach these from the region. Attach, not you. I'll attach this guy. He has good heavy infantry discipline, although I'm not interested in that. What do you have? Archer's discipline, light infantry discipline. I'm going to take you. And change to skirmishing. That seems to be the most effective. Let me double check what's going to be most effective for you. It looks like bottleneck is still good. I'm going to try to keep my main army, especially since the warriors just have so much like attrition weight, so I'm going to try to keep them in my home region. I really don't want them to do any fighting. Oh, a stockpile disappears. I could pay 244 gold. Ugh, that's going to be tough to handle. I mean, I can't pay that now. Heads will roll, or the province of Icenia could lose 20 loyalty. Alright, so the province of Icenia, if I were to click on it, it says, province of Icenia, the capital province is always loyal. So what happens if I drop their loyalty by 20? Aren't they always loyal? Let's see what happens. Province of Icenia is always loyal. It seems to me like they are still loyal. So we did lose some food, but we at least didn't lose the loyalty, so I guess that's a plus. Kind of a silly event then. I'm gaining my manpower. I think I'm ready to invade. How many people do you have? 12. Alright. Regardless, I am trying to take... What province is this? I'm going to try to continue on taking Brigantia. Except this time I'm going to declare war on the Caravedia and hopefully take as much land as possible. So I'm going to make sure I call all my allies. Wait, let me double check all my morale. My morale looks good in all my armies, correct? Perfect. Alright, I think it is time to take over some more of what I'm going to go ahead and call my island. So, here we go. Looks like all of my allies joined in. You are going to immediately attack. You're going to move in. And hopefully my allies will come help me. Uh-oh, we're no longer importing grain. That's not ideal. As I said, I'm not necessarily opposed to fighting in battles. I just want to make sure that I'm fighting in battles with that stack of 9,000 tribal vassals instead of with my own men. So I do have this fort. That fort might actually be save me. Let's see, what's the supply weight is 8. Their supply weight is 15. I am going to use them, but I'll take so much attrition coming up there. They only have 6,000 men. I'm going to hold off for as long as I can. I'm going to take this army of 9,000 and see if they can go relieve the siege. They are going to take a slave. That's unfortunate. I'm going to take one right back. We're going to destroy 1,000 men. It's always a plus. My allies are still grouping their troops. They're still recovering their morale. I feel bad for my ally up in the north. They are really just a punching bag, a kind of designed punching bag. I originally allied with them. Oh, I took a prisoner. That's always a good thing. I originally allied with them so that they would just kind of be a punching bag and take the brunt of my enemy's armies while I kind of ran ramp shot in the south. Once again, it appears like they are getting the raw end of this deal. Uh-oh, some troubling developments. I can either lose to corruption and have my apothecary lose 20 loyalty. I can give her some gold, which I'm actually now losing gold, and losing it quite by several ducats per month. How did that happen? Maybe it's because... Did some of my trade deals go away? Why am I now so far in the red? Oh well, we'll figure it out. I still have a small stockpile. I'm not too concerned. If I absolutely had to, and I mean absolutely had to, I would feel comfortable disbanding a couple cohorts down from this army, although preferably after the brunt of the enemy's forces are wiped out, preferably by my allies. I do wish that when you disbanded forces, you got your manpower back, which kind of makes sense, because if I'm just telling my 1,000 men to go home, I should be able to recall them at some point, but that's just not how it works. So I don't want to give her any silver, or I could just hit 2 tyranny and imprison her. I don't necessarily know if I want to imprison her. Let's take a look at the office. Apothecary, she has a 7. I could get this lady with an 8. You know what? Sorry, you're going to jail. Now you're in charge. Good for you, Bricta. Let's see. So I'll come in here, start taking more Brigantian land. Overall, I'm feeling pretty good. I know that when my allies' armies get up north, we're going to... Ooh, and I'm taking some slaves, which is kind of a secondary goal for this war. I would love to take some slaves, especially if I can push them towards my major population hubs. And then I will quash these little 1,000 sacks all day long, because that is just hurting their manpower more and more. Yeah, get out of here with your 1,000 light infantry. I do have almost 1,000 men. Oh, there's a slave detention. That's exactly what I want. I do have almost 1,000 men running around in the south. They are not going to be able to siege anything with only 1,000. Oh, well, now they have 1,000. Still don't want to necessarily send this army to follow, because that army is not very fast, and as well as it's going to take a lot of attrition as it moves. So unfortunately, this army may just be able to run around for a minute. Ooh, 2 slaves to illuminate? Where is that? Wherever it is, they got 2 more slaves. Good for them. And I'm real excited for when my military traditions come in and I can get this Glory of the Hunt, because that will just cause that will cause the number of slaves that I take just to exponentially increase. Which, more slaves means more money, which I am a little worried about the money situation. I am just going to... try to squeeze just a little bit more ducats. Oh, gosh, that does nothing. Go to harsh taxation. It's going to lower my research rate by a little bit, by 20%. But sometimes you do what you have to do, especially when you're losing money as fast as I am right now. This is not... That's not exactly what I was hoping for. Still, overall, I'm feeling good. My punching bag in the north has done exactly what they were designed to do. They are taking their hit. Looks like I'm probably going to fight in a battle. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to bring in some reserves. Oh no! This is just a shame in his old age. I mean, he's only he's 70 years old and he's very healthy for a 70-year-old man, but he is depressed. He has a rash, he has Montagra, he just got gout. Oh, poor guy. And that means he loses one marshal. Oh, that's unfortunate. Although right now he's not fighting in the war anyway. He is defending the south. This is going to be hopefully a fairly easy victory for us. Yeah, they lost over 2,000 men. We only lost 843. I'll take those numbers all day long, although I don't like that I'm back losing manpower again. I'm going to grab my light infantry, move them to this province, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but hopefully I can maybe take some slaves from it. Which I'm actually going to use them and pull them in. I'm going to fight, it looks like another battle in the capital of the Carvetii, which hopefully, after this battle is won, will give me just complete control over this region. Let's send their armies packing. Oh no, that's 14,000 men. I need to win this battle in a hurry, because they're coming in. Oh, come on. All right, we have a chance. We lost relatively the same amount of men in that battle. That's not great. So the game thinks we're going to win if we fight. I hope so. We currently do have a pretty high war score. I might think about piecing out relatively soon because I am interested in just taking as much land as I can. I'm starting to run lower and lower on funds. I don't want to spend any more money to improve the office. I am okay wasting, well, it's not wasting 15 political influence, it's spending political influence to increase my bodyguard's martial skill by 2, as well as his loyalty by 5. I think that I'm cool with spending those 15 influence like that. It looks like you are actually going to be quite annoying. I don't want to burn through quite the attrition, so I'm actually just going to take my archers and a chariot, create a new army. Not going to put you in charge since I think you hate me. I'm going to put this guy, Sigantorix, sure. You are now in control of an army, and you're going to go just deal with that thorn in my side. We continue to win up north. We also continue to lose men, which is not something I want to continue to do, but on the bright side, they continue to lose men too. It looks like, though, that I'm losing more men than they are. Yeah, they have a tactics advantage. I still win the battle. But with the amount of manpower I have, I'm just worried about the future. My allies, though, are balling out. They are doing really well. In fact, maybe I should concentrate more here on the south. let's just see. Yeah. So I'm not going to assault this fort, but let's just see if I did decide to peace out now. Okay, how many reasons? Okay. So they would give me... They would probably relatively quickly give me pretty much all of the Cornovian land. I want more than that, though. I definitely want to keep this war going, at least for a little while, especially since my allies seem to be taking, at this point, the brunt of the enemy's forces. I am going to move my light infantry stack away. Nope, never mind, I need them sitting there if they're going to continue to make progress on that siege. I'm going to go ahead and hire another civic guy. You look fine. My allies continue to win battle after battle. I keep forgetting about the southern army. The good news is also, because none of my allies at this point border any land that they could take, I feel like they're going to hopefully give a lot of it to me. So let's see what happens when this province goes to the Cantasia. Again, I'm so sorry about how I'm pronouncing all these names. Yeah, see, they give it to me right away. That's perfect. I would really love it if we made some more progress on the siege down here. Unfortunately, they have a port and we have no navy, so we can't blockade them, which is, you know, going to prolong the siege a little bit. They're still going to be able to resupply. Their garrison's not going to tick down quite as fast, but they won't be able to hold out. We are actually gaining manpower, so I'm not super worried about that. We are also gaining war score, and that is going to go way up. Oh, we had a food shortage. That's good news for us. That's going to go way up as this war goes on, especially after we take this province, or take this settlement. Come on, allies, reinforce. Okay, I think my allies are probably going to make it despite being outnumbered, maybe. Okay, can this one unit of chariots hold out? They have more reinforcements coming in. Yeah, that battle's over. And this siege is progressing nicely. I have almost successfully retaken all of the lands in the south. I think I may have almost won this war without using practically any of my manpower reserves. This has been a spectacular victory. Hey, give that to me. Who owns this? Yeah, good. I want to make sure that I have it. Also, how many people are the Brigantians at war with right now? Okay, just us. Oh, white peace is imminent because the war goal is still being contested, although I am about to take the war goal. In which case... No, this guy should stop and continue sieging, please. Or, you know, finish off their armies, that's fine. Anyway, I'm about to take the war goal. I'm not too worried about this. Because we are contesting the war goal, it's not like I'm in any danger of having them wipe peace out anytime soon. I'm going to go ahead and merge these two armies back together. A friend in need. Oh, because I went into the red. Oh no, that's a shame. What's going to happen? Strong-armed. So for the next 2 years, so I lose 5 stability, which is okay. I am pretty stable, and for the next 2 years, I get monthly loyalty minus 0.1. That's not great, but for 50 gold, considering that that's only going to happen for 2 years, so at most they're only going to, because what? Loyalty minus 0.1 times 24 is, so at their, like, potentially I will lose 2.4 loyalty extra from all my leaders. That's not terrible, and for 50 gold, I will take that. It gets me back into the red. or into the black. And for all of the land that I am about to take, I feel like it is completely worth it. It would be nice if I could get this siege to end on the at a 28% tick, wouldn't it? Let's see. Still no one's willing to trade with me. Now, I wonder if the reason they're not trading with me is because they hate me? Or because they just don't have anything to trade. For instance, if I wanted horses. Yeah, you don't have a great opinion of me, but they don't want to lose their capital bonus, so they're not going to trade with me. Unless they get more horses, which, if they don't have any pops, they're not going to make more than one unit of resource, which means they're not going to want to trade away any surplus they might have, because they just won't have a surplus. My allies are at this point starting to reclaim some of the conquered territory from my northern ally, the Votadinians, which is good. It means that this war is almost completely won. I do have an event. So I have the chance to turn 2 Brigantic slaves in Camelindinium into freemen, which freemen gives me manpower, which is good, but slaves give me money, which is also good, and I'm also currently almost out of money. Or I could just get 25 ducats and lose 5 popularity and gain 5 corruption. Now my popularity is only at 59, that's not great. I actually am wanting to increase my popularity with this for freedom, and I like the freemen anyway. This siege needs to end. That would be preferred. How many pops are in this town? Alright, so there are 9. Hopefully I'll take a couple slaves. Oh, it looks like we're actually going to lose a battle up here in the north. Yeah, they're not going to reinforce fast enough. Unfortunately, I don't think that those 9,000 men are going to be enough for our enemies to really make any moves on us. This poor guy is just suffering in his old age. He has gout, he has arthritis, he has depression, he's just sad all the time. He is just sitting around in Venta, just remembering his past glories from when he helped the Iceni almost double their land size, as he watches his younger companions go out to war, many of them to never come back. But hopefully most of them will. We are still gaining manpower, so we're still in pretty good shape. It is time for this siege to end. I really don't want to assault a fort that has a 42% chance to fall. But sometimes you just get stuck in this loop where it's 42%, 42%, 42%, all for, just cycle after cycle after cycle. And it's just bad luck. Boom! There we go. 1 slave to Venta. Well, it looks like 2 slaves to Venta. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I'm going to take these light infantry and just move them down to Camelindinium. We got 99 centralization. It might be time to think about getting another law. I currently have the stability for it. I can get rights of man, which is going to increase my citizen ratio by 10%. That's like building libraries all over the place. Yeah, I want that. Or do I want my freeman ratio to go up? No, at this point, I want to try to catch up on my research. If I can start getting some of those military techs, I won't even need as much manpower. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and click that button. That is going to hurt my stability. Hopefully I will get some positive stability events. If not, it's going to start ticking up relatively quickly. And this war is, by all means, over. So I know that I don't want to send my aggressive expansion too high, but I also want to take as much land as possible. So that's 9 plus 3, that's going to be 12.3 aggressive expansion. What happens if I just take all the Brigantian lands? That's going to give me 18 aggressive expansion. This is going to be 20. When I combine it with the amount of aggressive expansion I currently have, that's going to give me 20 aggressive expansion. I think I'm okay with that. It is going to mean, though, that I am going to have to sit at peace for a little while my aggressive expansion comes down. But it's also going to mean that I have all of this land. Plus, because I fully conquered several nations, I can bring it down. I am going to go ahead and say that I want the events that take aggressive expansion down. That's going to save me some time. It changes by 0.08 ticks per month. Ooh, it's going to be a little while before the aggressive expansion is ticked down far enough for me to want to continue conquering some of my neighbors. I'm going to have to make sure that wherever I conquer, I have claims on, at least here in the future. I really don't want to push this past 50, although maybe pushing it closer to 50 would be fine. Because really, it's just hurting my loyalty of subject states, which I don't have any subject states, and it's slowing down my claim fabrication speed, which I'm okay if that's slowed down just by a little bit. Obviously, it hurts my happiness. Wrong culture group pops are going to be really mad at me, but just those of not the Icenia culture are just going to be kind of mad at me. I'm okay. We're going to let that start ticking down. And I think this is actually where I'm going to end it for today. We're just going to do a real quick wrap-up of the world. Looks like Rome didn't do much expanding in these years. Carthage still looks the same. Phrygia looks like they are in a better shape, but the Seleucids seem to have fallen apart. Their time may be short in this game. I've been Ben the Bold, and you've been you. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.